Good morning and welcome to day one of the experimenting in the new format of actually trying to use the camera now that I have something behind me that isn't just a glaring ball of sun. It is Monday. It is about 8 o'clock in the morning. It is the fourth day of March, May? I don't know. It's a month. It's about 70 degrees and, about 50 degrees and cold here in Ventura, California, but compared to the rest of the state, apparently I can't complain. And it looks like my Hasbro stock has gone back up. Yeah! And it's time for all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, sports, and general internet nonsense. Let's see what's going on in the world for this week. Okay. EN Live has launched not one, but two. But three. 3 new podcasts this week, expanding upon their multimedia empire that is EN Publishing. So good for them, trying to knock it out there and offer some level of competition to Wizards of the Coast. They're really doing the whole thing with news and... Wait a minute, they copied me with news. And podcasts and campaigns and gaming hints. Sadly, they're still focusing on 5e and their level up 5e alternate rule set that they made. Has anybody played that yet? Has anybody seen it? Why do I keep doing this? Why? So yeah, that's going on. Abomination Vaults is out for 5e. This is a Pathfinder 2 adventure path that has been converted to 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. And it's called the Abomination Vaults. There's going to be 2 releases for it, one for 5e, one for Pathfinder 2nd edition. It should be out early this year. I don't know what that means since we're already in April. But con season is coming up, so I would expect it to be available at your friendly local game store. That's Dreamworld Collectibles here in Ventura, California, by June-ish, I would think, with con season just around the corner. See, the problem with the new cameras, can you see? The wobbling, the shaking. I got to figure out a way to screw that into the base of the thing, because otherwise you would just get this, which is kind of annoying. It's annoying to me. I assume it's annoying to you. All right, so I read that somebody who's out there apparently thinks that this adventure is problematic, and Wizards of the Coast needs to address the fact that Paizo is making 5e product, and somehow this announces that Paizo is admitting defeat and going out of business. So that would be probably the topic for another vlog, but to the individual who said that, one, Wizards of the Coast has absolutely no reason to address this whatsoever because it's a 5e product, which means it's money in their pocket no matter what. So why would they care if somebody else is making third-party 5e product, since 99% of all the third-party 5e product is better than anything Wizards of the Coast comes out with. And two, I seriously doubt Paizo is going to be going out of business anytime soon, considering Pathfinder is the number 2 selling role-playing game in the entire United States. So once again, suck it. Hey, in case you didn't notice, me talking about it earlier this week, Tales from Xavier, the Dragon Prince RPG is now available for purchase, based upon the Netflix animated series The Dragon Prince from Avatar: The Last Airbender head writer Aaron Essaz and Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception director Justin Raymond. Tales from Xavier is the first Cortex Prime game released following the fandom's acquisition of the game systems from the announcement, and is also like the first product we've seen for Cortex Prime in about 8 years. So if you're a fan of the Tales from Xavier Dragon Prince world and want to spend $25 on a Cortex Prime based game on the world setting, I don't think it, I mean, we discussed this yesterday or the day before in my whole talk about supplement versus system, because Cortex Prime is so obscure and they haven't really done anything in forever, I guess because they got bought out or whatever, and there's some controversy surrounding them. what game company doesn't have controversy surrounding them? That might be why. But anyways, I think that yes, because Cortex Prime is so obscure, they should put the rules in this. So yeah, you get $25. You get the rule set for Cortex Prime, obviously geared towards the Dragon Prince / setting. So yeah, if you're interested in that Netflix show and want to set a game in that world, go for it. And speaking of Cortex Prime, Fandom released the updated version of their community license for the system. This is the OGL for Cortex Prime, allowing you or anybody to create product for Cortex Prime, put it out there, and follow the same bits and bobs of legality that anybody who makes something for following like the OGL or open source or 5e or whatever. And I am not the person to explain how that works or how the money works, but basically you get money, they get money. There was some confusion over, sorry, allergies, who retained, and there's a truck going by, the rights if you made a product for Cortex Prime. So that is why they have rewritten the rules for it. But again, when was the last time anybody heard from Cortex Prime? So it's really uncharted territory. Hey, uncharted territory. That was the name of the product that the director made, who also helped work on the anime. Wow, weird how I tied that all together. Moving on. TSR 3.5 has released a whole bunch of rebindings of the classics Advanced Dungeons and Dragons books via the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. These are $600 leather-bound reprints of stuff most of us already have. There has already been some complaints because it's littered with typos. In fact, the cover of one of them has a glaring typo on it. Also, it does include the Cthulhu and Melbonian, the Elric of Melboron mythos, in their version of deities and demigods, which, as we all know, there was some hoo-ha, controversy, legality issues when the deities and demigods first came out with the Cthulhu and the Michael Moorcock stuff, because I'm not going to try and pronounce Melbonian, you know the word. Yeah, they released a second deities and demigods, which didn't have those in it, but then, now it's like, legality, Cthulhu, Elric, we can release it. This is, of course, right during the whole speaking of legal mumbo-jumbo going on between TSR 3.5 and Wizards of the Coast, and who owns what, and whose copyright is whose, and who owns that, blah, 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 blah. No one cares. To me, this just sort of feels like a slap in the face to Wizards of the Coast. Not that I'm, in love with Wizards of the Coast, despite the fact that I sometimes seem that I am, but this does seem like they're poking the bear. They're like, look what we're doing. Look what we're doing. Huh? We're releasing it. You technically can't say we can't. So if you do not have copies of all the original D&D stuff, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Monster Manual Guide, which of course is considered the Dungeons and Masters Guide, considers the best Dungeon Master's Guide for D&D because it had all the Appendix N stuff, the Player's Handbooks, the Monster Manuals, and Deities and Demigods, and you have $600 laying around extra that you would want to spend for each one of these, or you could get them for $30 each on eBay, including the Deities and Demigods with the Cthulhu mythos is, I think, $80. So yeah, I don't really see the reason why to. TSR Con is coming up and being hosted at the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum in Lake Geneva. They are having about 800 people show up despite all the things that are going on, and this is going to go directly in competition with Luke Gygax's Gary Con, so it'll be interesting to see how Gary's two sons work out whatever's going on between them. Meanwhile, the TSR 3.7.5 and the Wizards of the Coast lawsuit and counter lawsuit continues to chug along, and nobody even really cares anymore. And, yeah, that's what's going on. PJ Coffee released his first third-party book for Level Up Advanced 5e Homebrew and System. It's called Homebrew and Hacking, Crafting Heritage and Cultures. A 48-page book includes rules to help narrators, DMs, and game designers create their own heritage and cultures for EM Publishing's Level Up Advanced 5e. This is a $15 product. Free League announced pre-orders for Death in Space, a new science fiction survival game. Players take the roles of miners, salvagers, drillers, the crew of the Nostromo, facing the horrors of space. So, if you want to get the Free League Publishing version of Mothership, this is out there. So, yeah. The tabletop game crowdfunding site GameFound is now officially open to all creators. This is one of the first competitors to Kickstarter. It's basically going up because so many people are concerned about the direction Kickstarter is taking in regards to Bitcoins and blockchains and all that numbers and money. I mean, take my money. Who cares how you take my money? Just take my money. If I want digital money is digital money. But yeah, apparently it's a thing and people are upset. How dare you? There's so much, blah, blah, blah. They could find out my personal information. They could find out your... Dude, every time you use this, they're finding out your personal information. All right, so if you have some reason to not want to use Kickstarter and want to use GameFound, the new crowdfunding thing, it's up. The beta is running right now. You can go to GameFound and check out how to become a thing and put your stuff up there and make money off of your stuff, maybe. I'll post a link. Applications are open for next week for the Gen Con grants. These are grants that Gen Con is putting out starting next week to support individuals in the gaming community who feel that they have been historically unappreciated in the past. I don't know where to go with that. Gen Con participation grants available to members of historically unappreciated communities. What are the communities in gaming that feel like they're unappreciated? Cosplayers? Vampire the Masquerade fans? People who like Old West games? Or is this a reference to the whole racism thing? Oh, you were unappreciated in our community, so here's a grant. Who? You know what? I feel unappreciated in the gaming community. Can I get a grant, please? Okay. Enough with this nonsense. Moving on to bundle time. Yeah, it's bundle time. Let's get ready to bundle. And we have a new way to take a look at all the bundles. Somebody has gone to all the work of writing down all the bundles for us as of this week. So thank you very much. Why should I do the work if somebody else has already done it for me? I don't know if we're going to be seeing this list every week because it's a lot of work, but thank you to the individual who made the list, at least for this week. Freebies and pay what you want bundles. Roll20 is giving away Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition adventure Lost Mind of Fendelver for free for the month of April. So if you're on Roll20 and you want the virtual tabletop version of one of, if not the best 5e adventures, Minds of Fendelver, it's available for free on Roll20. Of course, it's a virtual tabletop version of the module that you can only play on Roll20, so there's that. The Mission Brief series for Star Trek Adventures continue with Starbase Adventures. These are mission briefs that have been made available for the Star Trek Adventure, and they are over at the people who support the Star Trek Adventure and Starbase Adventures, which is Mophidius. The Twilight 2000 Adventure, The Last Meal, is up for Twilight 2000 over on the DM's Guild. A lot of these will be found on the individual companies' websites as well as sites like DriveThru. So if you want a free Twilight 2000 adventure called The Last Meal, it's over up on the Free League site and a drive-thru. Lost Colossus Games has provided free stats for the worst monster you could ever encounter in 5e, a puppy swarm. Free stats for a group of puppies. Yeah. Okay, the Realm Scribe has released a new prestige class for high-level campaigns, the Juggernaut. There are no prestige classes in 5e anymore. They got rid of them. So I assume this is for an older version of D&D. I think there were prestiges in 4. I definitely were prestiges in 3. So if you want a free copy for rules for a class that does not exist in 5th edition, at least as far as I know, you can go over to the Realm Scribe. The one-page RPG Cursed by Liev Carr is an investigation supernatural horror game for 2 or more players. That's up for free on Lee Carr's website. And now moving on to bundles. The Modern Settings bundles from J. Scott Zumwalt, not the other J. Scott. This is J. Scott Zumwalt, has 2 contemporary settings for the Genesis system. So if you want some modern RPG type style play for the Genesis system, there's a bundle up for that over on the Genesis system role-playing site for $10. Over the DM's Guild, we have the Ravenloft von Richter's Encyclopedia of Dark Lords and Domains, Volume 1 and 2, which has been collected into a single bundle that goes into details for all the settings in Ravenloft before Wizards of the Coast changed it. This is $153 for a PDF. $153 for a PDF. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Also on DM's Guild, we have the Cottage Core and Spring Bundle collection, which just collects various 5e products for celebrating spring. So these are all 5e adventures that have been specifically designed around the theme of spring, including a language of flowers language rules and new race options for the Domains of Delight. So this is $27 for a bundle of adventures and supplements and add-ons to 5e that are spring themed. So if you've ever wanted to know the language of flowers or new race options for the Domains of Delight or any other spring themed and have $27 to waste for no. Okay, from Storyteller's Vault, we have the Classic Age Golden Box discount for Vampire the Masquerade 20th Anniversary Edition. So this is a whole bunch of classic Vampire the Masquerade stuff set in the classic age of Vampire the Masquerade. So this includes Fall of Carthagia, Kindred Mythology, the Vampire Survival Guide, the Ultimate Revised Discipline Companion, Vampire 20th Anniversary Edition, and the Classical Age. I think that was the Victorian Age stuff for Vampire. So head on over to the Storyteller's Vault if you're interested in older Vampire stuff. This is $37 for the PDF collection. Remember, these are all bundles of PDFs. And for Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition, over the Storyteller's Vault, we have the Chronicles Companion, which provides a $2.50 discount for all the Children of Night collection. So for $12.50, you can get the whole Children of Night collection for Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition. Don't even ask me to explain all the differences between Vampire the Masquerade and World of Darkness anymore, because it's gotten really confusing. Charity bundles, the final hours for the tabletop role-playing game for Transright's Texas bundle. All proceeds being split between transgender education systems and transgender support programs in and around Texas is still up. It is about $5 for 500 plus products. Some of them are role-playing games, some of them are board games, some of them are card games, some of them are stories. There are a few gems hidden in there. If you want to support transgender education and transgender rights and transgender charities and stuff like that in Texas, $5 for about 500 games seems a good deal. EM Publishing's Blessings, Healings, and Peace bundle is still available with 6 supplements for 5e. These are all things like healing spells, magical ceremonies, stuff like that, on nice little colored cards that you have to print out. It's $1 for that. Crucible 7's Bundle of Holding, which features steampunk-themed Victorian, using the unique D6 system. Does anybody remember Victorian? This got a lot of good press for the short time it is around. It is still considered one of the best steampunk RPGs created during the whole steampunk fad. So if you wanted to pick it up, this is the entire collection of stuff for Victorian, all available on PDFs on Bundle of Holding for $13, and it goes to support the Children's Charity Health Foundation. Pellegrin Press gives us the Esoterrorists, Esoterrorists by Robin D. Laws on Bundle of Holding. This is a modern-day fantasy setting for the Gumshoe system. The game pits the party of investigators against occult terrorists. So this is the complete Esoterrorists role-playing game collection for $9, and it goes to support the Red Cross. Vigilance Press's Tanaxia Bundle of Holding brings Wayuxu-style martial arts campaign setting Tanaxia Blood and Silk and Jade to the Fate Core rules system. The bundle includes everything you need to play Wayuxu over-the-top wire-style martial arts and Fate for $10, and it goes to support the charity Direct Relief. Isn't Fate all about storytelling anyways? And why would you need separate rules for how to do Wayuxu wire-style Chinese martial arts in a game where the whole rules are storytelling as opposed to mechanics? And maybe it's the setting for the world style, so giving you a fictional world where that type of thing is a regularly day occurrence. But wouldn't that be cultural appropriation, and aren't we against that? Anyways, it's $10. The future fantasy RPG Equinox from Vagrant Workshop is a sister-neutral science fiction fantasy setting set thousands of years in the future. This is a $13 bundle from Humble Bundle. It goes to support the charity Direct Relief, and it is everything you need to run characters throughout the RPG Equinox setting. Mark Miller has released a bundle of classic traveler books for Humble Bundle. This charity goes to support the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society. It concludes a whole bunch of stuff for Traveler. So if you want to get everything, a whole bunch of supplements for Classic Traveler, written by Mark Miller himself, pick up this bundle. It's $18. The Pathfinder First Edition Character Option Bundle is still running. It's been extended for an extra week. This is all the character option rules that came out for Pathfinder First Edition. This goes to select the National Coalition Against Censorship charity, and it's about $15 to get the good stuff. Crucible 7 has partnered with Humble Bumble for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Soulbound. This is a whole bunch of stuff for the Warhammer Age of Sigmar role-playing setting, which gives you a whole bunch of stuff about the Warhammer Age of Sigmar world. So if you want to role-play in that world, it gives you stuff, but it also sort of gives you the introduction to the miniature version and includes a coupon. I was just at the local Warhammer Games Workshop store the other day, and the figures still look awesome. I mean, if that's your thing, you could get a coupon for 20% off and get a whole bunch of rules on PDF and support Children's Health. That appears to be all the bundles. Let's just check what's going on in Bundle of Holding. If anything on there that we missed. No. Victorian. Trinexary. Yep, no, nothing we miss. We went through it. That is all the bundles, that is all the news, that is everything going on in the tabletop world of role-playing game stuff. If any of this sounds like something you're interested in, head on down to your friendly local game store, that's Dreamworld Collectibles, here in Ventura, California, and ask them to look into all these products. As always, I have been your guide to all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, sports, and general internet nonsense. If you appreciate the words that are coming out of my pie hole, give a thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe, support the OGG adventures that we go into the summer. If you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me a lot. Remember, the goal is still 1,000 subs by August 4th. Who knows whether we release it or not. That's enough of me mispronouncing words and stumbling over my own tongue. It's hard to believe I have a degree in communication, isn't it? Till next time, let us remember the immortal words of our sponsor who said, "Get off of my land, you damn kids, and your damn meddling tiger, and your goddamn Equinox alternate rules, and just fourth prestige. God, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm Skeletor. Bow to me."